Hello friend, this is Sanjay Kumar, founder of SelectorsHub. Request you please subscribe to the channel if you are new here so that you don't miss any upcoming updates on SelectorsHub, TestCase Studio and the innovations. Thank you. This has been like quite some time for this kind of questions that we can't use XPath plugin or a tool in interviews because generally they used to give the auto-generated XPath. So how can we use like even Selectors Hub in interview to ask the questions related to XPath? Like if we want to ask the question to the candidate, like write this XPath. So how can we make a use of Selectors Hub? Because it used to give the auto-generated XPath and selector. That's the perception of all of us, like whenever we hear about the XPath plugin. So let me show you that how can you use these selectors as an editor, pure editor, to ask any kind of XPath or selectors related questions. Because as we all know, I have showed you guys couple of times that when you verify XPath or selectors in dev tools that used to give the string matches, doesn't support shadow DOM. So all those things are there, like when you do control F, command F, so that's where we don't get the correct results. So here, how can we make the use of selectors to ask question in interview related to XPath and selectors? So I have created one page, very good practice page. In fact, you can make a use of this XPath practice page where you can ask difficult and really complex scenarios to the candidate related to XPath. So for an example, if you want to in this page, if you want to write XPath for this one, let's say for your enter your company here and inspect this element. So let me just zoom in so that you can get a better view. And here it is selectors hub. So when you open selectors hub here, so by default, like you will see that it is showing the auto generated XPath. And in fact, so you must be knowing that you can turn off the, if you don't want to see these auto generated XPath because you are taking interview and you want the candidate to write the XPath in selectors. So in that case, you can turn off this auto generated selectors. Turn off this. Now it is just an editor, but still it is a smart editor because as soon as you start typing here, let's say if we inspect this element and you start typing, so it used to give these auto suggest. So sometimes you don't want for the candidate to show this kind of auto suggest as well. You just want plain like this thing, like command F. The reason we avoid using this one because it used to drag up and scroll up and down. It used to doesn't give the XPath count only because it gives the string match as well. So in that case, if you want to use selector sub and you don't want to see this, you can turn off this toggle as well. And now this is a plain editor just to write and verify your XPath, which will give you the correct information and the correct result. Like suppose you want to find out how many links in this page, so you can just type /A. Now there is no auto suggest. You want to write XPath for, let's say, this element you are asking for email thing. So here you just like start typing here /input, and then you can write @id is equal to user ID. So this is how you can ask the questions to the candidate, and they can write the XPath or selectors here. And you can just tell them that don't turn it on. If it is like if you are taking virtual interview and screen is shared, definitely you can see that they have turned it off. And this will be saved, the settings will be saved in your local. So when next time you will open selectors hub, that will be like off only, so it will not be automatically getting turned on. So this will be off only and it will always open in this mode. Here you can ask difficult kinds of questions, like let's say you ask the candidate write XPath for enter password field with respect to this password. So just ask him to write XPath for this field with respect to password. So they can write in that way. Like first they can write here for label. So of course, like selectors hub made it possible to write XPath following, sibling, preceding, everything. So you can write any kind of XPath. The best part is that it will give you the right count of the things and right result. While because some many a times, if you verify here in control F, command F, that's where you will get the wrong result. You might get the wrong result because of like a string match, shadow DOM, iframe, SVG element. So a lot many things are not supported there. So this will help you to build any kind of XPath here and for to verify. So you can ask candidate write XPath, or if you want to ask them to write CSS selector, so you can ask them to write CSS selector for this one. If you want to ask them to write JS path, you can ask them to write JS path as well here and verify. So all those things you can ask, and this will be like plain editor. So yes, you can use SelectorsHub in a very simple way, where it will not show you any auto suggest, any auto generated XPath. So this will help you guys to ask them a lot of good questions, good interview questions. And in fact, like when they are writing XPath, suppose they are writing XPath for this, let me just show a complete example here. XPath for this password field with respect to password label. So first they will write, let's say we write for this one, label text password. So this is the problem, that we have to copy or type complete thing. So this we have written, and now this password input box, this one is the following sibling of this input, this label. So we can use following sibling here, and colon then input, and this input is ID. So here we can use, let's say @ID is equal to pass, and this way we have written XPath for this password field with respect to password label. So they can write it. Now good part here in SelectorsHub, let's say you want to ask them to write a new XPath. In that case, you want to save this previously written XPath. So you can directly click on this, and this value will be saved here, so you can access them later. Like if you want to ask them to write 10 XPath, and then later you want to verify all 10 XPath quickly, so you can ask them to write like new XPath for the same thing without ID. So let's say you ask without ID, then in that case they can use, let's say, name. So here they can write name is equal to password. This is verified. Now you want to see both of the XPath, so you can click on this plus button, it will be saved here, and you can see side by side both the XPath. And this way it will help you to judge the candidate whether, like, how many types of XPath they have written just for one element. So this is helpful for you to like verify and justify a candidate. If you want to ask them to write the CSS selector for the same element, they can write the CSS selector here itself, like this way, or whatever way you want, formula they use, they can do it. And you can save this, and anytime you can check what all they have written and how good work they have done. So this is how you can use SelectorsHub in interview to ask the question, to write their own XPath and build their own XPath or CSS selector. This will really help you guys a lot to ask any kind of question. In fact, like if it is shadow DOM, iframe, then also you can ask them, and it will be like showing that this element is inside shadow DOM and all other stuff. Because if they will write the correct CSS selector here in Command F, then it then it will show 0 result. But if they will write it here, it will show the correct result. So this will help you guys a lot. And you can see that this is absolutely in editor mode, and it is not showing any auto generated XPath or selectors. So you can ask them to write their own XPath, own CSS selector, and get the right result. I hope this will help you guys a lot, and you must have learned something good. And this is a really good interview tip, because many people ask this question while giving the training or taking the training, that how can we use SelectorsHub in interview to ask the question. Already many people are using, but I thought to create a tutorial so that everyone can understand, everyone can see these features of SelectorsHub, that yes, it is easily possible to use SelectorsHub as a pure editor to ask any kind of interview question, any kind of questions related to XPath or selectors in interview. I hope you liked it. Thank you so much for watching it. Please let me know your thoughts, or any kind of comment, any kind of feature you want to see in SelectorsHub, any improvement if you feel free to let me know in the comment section, and let me know your thoughts about these features in SelectorsHub in the comment section. And please like, share, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done yet. Thank you so much.